Good morning, everyone. May 14th, and we have some interesting, at least, updates that we received from the Cumberland County Court just today that we've uploaded to the MSBA website. And those are just a few simple things. One affects all of us, the other affects the criminal defense attorney. First, there was a notice that I think just codifies one of our PMOs that's already been issued by the by Chief Meade, and that is the courthouse has this notice for access during the pandemic, and there are 5 questions that you will be asked. And if you answer yes to any of those 5 questions, you're supposed to call the courthouse before you come to the courthouse to make arrangements to access the courthouse. And can you hear me all right, Angela? All right. Well,
you're a little scratchy.
Yeah, I'm getting this notice that my speaker's not working right or something. So the other notice was the how you do a dispositional conference as a defense attorney. You are not expected to involve your client in dispositional conferences. You are expected to have a conversation prior to a dispositional conference, and then there are some other details there for you to read too. And you're expected to do dispositional conferences via remote rather than coming to the courthouse. All right, since I seem to have limited capability of projecting my voice, I'd like to right now introduce probate judge Paul Aronson of the Cumberland County Probate Court. He has joined us to share a little bit about what it is that his court is doing in this pandemic and how he sees the court rolling out into the future. Judge Aronson?
Yes, Thaddeus.
Hi.
I'm here.
Yes, and I appreciate, apparently we had some miscommunication over the last week, and I apologize for the very short notice for you coming on board, and I appreciate it. We do have, I also apologize too for having a little low participation rate right now, because we do have the stakeholder group being live streamed as we speak, and I'm going to just briefly comment on that before we sign off today. But please share with us your thoughts on how we're going to conduct business at the probate court.
Well, since I shut it down middle of March, we began having telephone conferences as well as video conferencing, utilizing not Zoom, but the Google platform. And so I am still doing return days every Wednesday. I review cases on Tuesday. And I'm also obviously reviewing everything else that comes in through the mail or through the internet, and emergency guardianships, minor adult, as well as conservatorship. And I think what we're going to begin doing is having contested hearings in June, utilizing that system. We're getting a camera and as well as a screen for the courtroom. And what I would ask people to do, what I will ask people to do, is to submit marked exhibits well beforehand, and exchange them so everyone knows, and maybe submit them to me, obviously, so I can review them and make a quick ruling. on them rather than have to take a break and review them. And I just can't thank my staff enough for, you know, Kelly and Nadine particularly for the effort they've made in making sure that things go smoothly, and things have gone smoothly as far as I can determine. So we're just going to continue to do what we have been doing, and we're going to begin doing contested hearings. Probably my usual day in the week is Thursday. Do those on Thursdays or any other day for that matter. I don't know, and I cannot predict when I will decide to have the public come to the courtroom. I can't imagine that's going to happen before August or September. And I'll just see how things develop. We're doing, as far as name changes, as you know, we piled people in for name changes. I don't know if anyone of you are aware of those, but I'm going to be doing name changes without a hearing, unless there's some issue that arises. Does anyone have any questions?
And thank you very much, Judge Aronson. While we may have some questions that pop up, I do have a couple myself. There was a constituent that sent a question. This is from another county that apparently some probate judges interpret or enforce rules a little differently. So he had asked about the 49-day essentially a stay of deadlines for 49 days that was announced by Chief Softly back in March. There was a constituent that had a question about how probate courts, in particular yours in this case, may be interpreting the deadline extension.
Well, I read the communication from the courts, and my reading of that rule is that if you have to file something, there's a 49-day extension. That doesn't impact the length of time for emergency guardianship or conservatorship that I have entered. So it doesn't apply to extensions. I rule on those separately based upon requests by, I consider them motions by people to extend the emergencies until we have a date to come in and have a hearing, etc.
Right. And I'm sorry. There, along with that, there was a question on how you would view the application of if you had a scheduling order, let's say, that said the discovery deadline is, falls after this pandemic order, somewhere in between March 17th and now, how you viewed whether or not that got a stay of 49 days too, or an enlarged.
Yes, I haven't come across an issue with regard to that, but I'm certainly not going to be very, I will accept the 49-day extension for, discovery deadlines, etc. So I think we all need to be as flexible as we can be under the circumstances.
Okay. And one other question that we had was for original wills, how are you accepting those if someone doesn't want to mail it to the probate court?
I don't know why they wouldn't want to mail it, but has that come up?
Yes, it's come up in other counties, but yes.
Oh. Well, and what's the reason that people don't want to mail it? They're afraid of the mail?
They're afraid of it getting lost.
Yeah. Well, if necessary, if they have an original and they're concerned about it getting lost, I guess they could submit a photocopy of it and, you know, an affidavit that they have the original. And I would accept the photocopy. Of course, you know, we're still doing informal, so that has not dropped off very much.
And I did want to comment, Judge Aronson, too, that your staff has been very responsive whenever my office has reached out, and I haven't heard anything from any other attorneys that have indicated otherwise either. So,
well, we're very fortunate to have that staff, because I've worked with staffs, other staffs in my life, and no one exceeds their professionalism and commitment and competence.
And I'll tell you what, right now, no one's like sent any questions via the chat yet. And if someone has a question, they can certainly verbalize it too if they don't want to type it. I'll give a 5-second wait, and then we'll go on to the rest of the slides. But if you're able to hang on until we end the meeting, Judge, we might have some questions that come up. Are there any questions for the judge right now? Okay. I'm told with Zoom etiquette.
So should I stay on or not?
If you could, Your Honor, we've got only like another 4 minutes. So.
Okay, sure. Yeah, be happy to.
Thank you very much, Your Honor, and I appreciate your presentation. On the business side, Angela, did you have some updates?
I do. Just another reminder to upgrade your Zoom to 5.0 before May 30th. You should be getting emails from Zoom about that. It will increase your security. Under MSBA, I want to let everybody know that we're going to be having an H&D CLE on May 28th at 1 p.m. It's a free program. We're doing it, we're co-sponsoring it with the Board of Overseers. Aria E will be on that, as well as Justice Alexander and I believe Mike Bigos. So there's the title right there. It's focus on the issues using bystander intervention or non-confrontational communication. And it will, yes.
I'm sorry, you were probably just about ready to say that. Is this going to count as credit?
Yes, that's what yeah. So it's an H&D program. It's going to be 2 hours long. So you will receive actually 1 H&D credit and 1 ethics credit for that. So I encourage you to join because it is at no cost to you. And finally, you'll see that Aria will be with us tomorrow, Bar Council, and we are hoping to have our stakeholder representatives, the MSBA representatives to the stakeholder group on with us on Monday. And real quick, if you haven't seen anything come through your email yet about that CLE, it may be going out today or tomorrow to the membership. So just be on the lookout for it.
Thank you, Angela.
Thanks.
I wanted also to piggyback on what Angela was addressing regarding our future speakers. Right now, as we speak, I believe the stakeholders group is still live streaming. I was trying to catch an update on it before we came on for our Zoom conference here. From what I understand, our MSBA representatives have finally spoken. There are other stakeholders that are still speaking. I asked about the format for next week, and that format hasn't been revealed as of the start of this Bar Talk. for next week. But apparently, since 9:30, stakeholders have been voicing their concerns and opinions right up until we started our bar talk. So on Monday, we're going to have our MSBA stakeholder representatives address us about what it is that they see as the process, as well as what they saw as the highlights. And our personal side thank yous are for those stakeholder participants. There are a lot of them from all walks of life that are impacting our judicial branch opening, and I'm very thankful for their time and volunteerism. With that, did we have, I guess, any other questions for the judge?
Not for the judge, just a question about if they're recording the stakeholder meeting. I don't think it's for watching, it's for listening. I don't know if they're recording it. I would assume they probably are, but.
I would assume they are too. It's just like you go to the Supreme Court webpage for it, and they seem to be treating it just like their oral arguments, and I think they save those on the website for a period of time. So if there's any issues with being able to listen to it, I would contact Nancy at the Cleves Law Library to get that help in making a connection. She's always helped me with that. All right, thank you very much for your time. We are out, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you,
Thank
Judge.
Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Judge.
Take care.